Hello around the world. Good afternoon, good evening, good early morning, depending on your commitment to this, as our speakers have just demonstrated. I'm Aaron Orndorff, the head of marketing here at Recart, and good gravy. Do we have a freaking lineup for you today and tomorrow? Welcome to the one thing to increase your LTV, your customer lifetime value. We are going to be spreading ourselves out today and tomorrow with a glorious lineup. Look at those fresh, shiny, smiley faces. You can see them there in their headshots. You can see them there on the panelist screen as well. We have so much good stuff to get to. I'm actually going to pause on introducing each and every one of them and instead jump into the challenge that I lay before them, as well as, dear participant, dear viewer, the challenge I want to lay upon you. So we essentially have one big thesis driving idea mission before us today. And this is what I tasked every single one of the speakers who's going to be presenting with, is to bring to us one principle to increase your customer lifetime value, a single application to bring that principle to life, and then an example to let you taste it, touch it, smell it, see it, flex on it. And now, in most of these cases, we're going to break the whole one example thing. But what I've really tried to press upon them, and even hold myself to the standard of, is whatever number of examples we bring, they better be dead set on that application and on that single principle, because we will have failed you. Nay, you will have failed yourself if you don't leave today, show up again tomorrow, leave tomorrow with at least one takeaway to make your e-commerce business 1% better. So that means two things, okay? First off, if you have any questions along the way, there is a Q&A box that I would love to have you drop it in as it goes, fresh in your mind. We'll collect these throughout and then answer them all together at the end and call back some of our speakers as you have questions that apply specifically to their portion of today's event. The second thing is, I want you to have your screenshot fingers ready, because the one takeaway that you're going to grab, I want you to actually have some sort of digital paper trail stamp of exactly what that thing is you're taking away to go put into action. I know I do not do this outside of making sure I've taken the notes, I've taken the screenshot, I know what it's going to be, and I'm waiting for that recap or the full deck to come so I can dig right back into it. But if I don't have it the day of, it's gone. So that's what I want to lay upon you today. Now, having said all of that, prepared, screenshot fingers, Q&A fingers all ready, I would love to welcome to the stage our first speaker for today, Mia from Triple Whale. Can the people hear you, Mia?
Yep, I think so. Hello, everyone.
Beautiful. All right. It's on you.
Beautiful. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Aaron. Hello, everyone. I am super excited to chat with y'all today. My name is Mia Boback. I'm the head of tech partnerships here at Triple Whale. And today I'll be sharing with you all about my one thing to increase your LTV, which is to locate and meet your customers in their journey. And what I mean by that is knowing who your customers are, what touch points they have with your brand, and most importantly, creating a personalized experience for them. Next, let's take a look at why this is important. So why is a personalized experience crucial? Because of this statistic right here, because 80% of customers are more likely to make a purchase when given a personalized experience. This is why knowing who your customers are is so important. And we're all consumers, so I'm sure all of us can agree with this, right? All of our most amazing experiences that I can think of anyways that I've had with a brand, especially pre-purchase, all have included some sort of personalized aspect. But now the question becomes, how are you supposed to personalize an experience if you don't even know who your customers are? So next, this is where customer data becomes key. You want to utilize your customer data to target customers with personalized ads, emails, SMS campaigns, etc., and provide the personalized experience that they're looking for. You can do this in a multitude of ways, right? By offering quizzes for your customers to collect customer insights, or in the case of Triple Whale, by segmenting your customers. Next, we'll chat about how brands are actually using customer segments this way. So you want to segment your customers based on various characteristics and actions or lack of actions that they take with your brand. Then you want to target those segments of customers with personalized, relevant ads that will then increase your AOV and LTV. So next, I'll show you an example that we have from one of our customers, Obvi. So they sell different wellness and health products like supplements and protein powders. If you have prospects that are looking for healthy hair supplements and prospects that are looking for skincare supplements, those groups of customers need to be targeted with very different ads, right? And they need a completely different experience. So you can segment those customers based on the different types of ads that they've clicked in the past, and then target them with the most personalized ads possible. You can also segment your customers based on how many orders they've made, what they've ordered, their different customer attributes. This level of segmentation is crucial for increasing your LTV. And then next, we'll go into my final thoughts. We're kind of just like breezing right through this. So y'all, I know this was really quick, but if there's one single thing you should be taking away from my presentation, it's that you need data to create a personalized shopping experience for your customers, especially when you have the ultimate goal of increasing the lifetime value of your customers. And with that said, that is all today for my one thing lesson. I hope y'all enjoyed that quick little tactical tip of how you can use your customer data to personalize your customer's experience.
That is how you set the bar. That is in and out with the one takeaway. And here, listen, if anybody missed it and your screenshot fingers weren't ready, this obvious example of, gosh, I know I've seen this. I know I've seen this around, and it's such a strong message matching principle. And the reason I really want to call attention to it is not just because it's such a strong one-for-one visual example of exactly how to do this, but because it goes right into the exact next principle that I myself am up for. So, as I said, Aaron Orndorff, head of marketing at Recart. And as we think about this whole process, it's almost best to think about it as the journey that Maya introduced, where we've hitting them on the front end with those personalized ad experiences that then carry through into the various touch points that follow. And what I want to stress is this idea of front loading an exceptional product experience. And this is particularly important if your product lends itself to LTV, if it is a consumable. And I want to start with what's going to sound like sort of a counterintuitive idea. And it's that you can't sell LTV by selling LTV. And this is especially screamingly true for subscriptions. That often the fundamental mistake a lot of brands make, particularly when they're leaning into or are particularly reliant on subscriptions, is to go for the ask or leave people with analysis paralysis on the product page when they're first moving into increasing LTV too soon. Right? Even more counterintuitive is to think about this in terms of aiming for a low LTV on first purchase. If you have a strong existing backend built on subscriptions. Now, what I want to say is, if you do not have a strong subscription backbone that you're building upon and your product is still consumable, or if it's something that lends itself to a natural product orbit, then forget everything I just said about low LTV. Take the money now. This really, really applies to if there is a strong subscription portion of your business, 45% or more driven by those ongoing reorders that happen like clockwork. Here we're thinking about aiming for a lower LTV, namely in your pop-ups and your welcome offer, to get them to experience the product first, to lower the barrier to entry, increase conversion rates, and then a robust onboarding flow, email and SMS, during the initial reorder window. The time between either when the first subscription hits, so we're just moving through this funnel, either between when the first subscription hits or when that reorder, the product itself is running out, or they're most likely to come back and repeat purchase if you're not selling a CPG or a consumable. And to put flesh onto this, I'm talking about things like FAQs that you already have on your site, common mistakes, complaints people make, how-to tips to get the best usage out of it, UGC in particular for best results, and then wrapping this all up with loyalty and engagement in this order. And when I talk about putting flesh on it, this is what I mean by putting flesh on it, okay? This is as detailed. When I say robust, as I want you to get. This is one of our largest brands at Recart. They sell a supplement. I've had to abstract the brand name and the product name from it, but I'm going to walk you through how they've created a landing page for first-time purchases, an email flow that damn near one-for-one matches this, and they're now rolling out an SMS sequence, a text message marketing sequence, to close that gap even stronger to make sure their customers have a great experience. So one piece at a time. Day one after delivery, we're aiming here at first use for a quick start. So this is a two-part MMS message with one, a link to the order itself in case anything went wrong, and then right into 3 easy steps to start experiencing the benefits today. That link right there, that welcome link, is the controlling landing page for first-time purchases that they've built, long form. And what we're essentially doing is taking that landing page of how to get the best experience out of the product and breaking up into both email and SMS, and we're hitting them with it on the very first day that they get it to start that product experience off right. We're going to throw a 1-day delay on that into day 2, and we're going to hit them with the #1 product mistake. And this is so interesting to me. This refrigeration is not required. Now, is that the actual product mistake? Do people refrigerate it and it goes bad? No, 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 of course not. What people do with a new supplement is they'll often, particularly if you're targeting an older demographic, think that it needs to be refrigerated, out of sight, out of mind. And what they discovered was if people put it in their refrigerator, they are far less likely to actually take it. So we're telling them you don't need to. Instead, put it next to your bed in a place that it's visible so you see it in the morning and you're off and running. So you're heading off the first product mistake on day 2. We're going to throw another 1-day delay on top of that. Day 3. Now we're aiming at the #1 product complaint, which in this case, for anybody that is just starting a new regimen of supplements, it's taking too much, having an adverse reaction, bloating, and then being done, thinking it doesn't work. So we're leading them right into 1 capsule a day for the first 7 days is best. Little emoji reminder here, custom icons to show them what it looks like along the way. Let their body easily adjust to the natural ingredients. All right, so day 1, day 2, day 3. Now we're going to throw a 5-day delay on it, which is going to kick us out to the end of week 1. And guess what? Guess what? Here we're saying 1 capsule a day for 7 days. We don't want to trust human beings to actually take the correct amount past 7 days. So 2 capsules a day. This is an email and text reminder that tells them it's time to kick it up. But if you feel any bloating, go back to day 1. And I want you to think about this in the same way that it goes product mistakes right into FAQs. This is where all this information is coming from, and it's teeing them up to have that product experience. We're going to give a 1-week delay, another 7 days into day 14. Here, this is one of my favorites, the proactive check-in or engagement bait, where we're simply opening with a couple of questions, feeling the benefits, any questions, text back to start a conversation, or go online to the chat. Either one, just to stay active in their world, making sure we're heading off any issues somebody might have that's keeping them from having a great product experience. We're going to throw it out 21 days. This is week 3. We're going to start pushing them towards the membership, or in this case, free loyalty activation. Small offer, $10 off your next order. Membership is free. And in this case, the first time we're introducing the membership page itself to start nudging them towards discounts and even bigger prizes, as it says here. Then we're rounding the whole thing off at the end of month 1, right on top of when that first supply ends. Running low, subscribe and save 15% to feel good, look good, inside it out. Right from the landing page, right from the homepage. That is the driving value proposition of this brand, of the supplements itself. Feel good, look good. We're pushing them into it. And now we're going for the subscription after they've had a really guided, cultivated experience that we have walked them through hand by hand of the product itself. So if you do nothing else, I want you to start thinking about, you don't sell LTV to new customers in particular, especially if you're a subscription business. What you sell is an exceptional product experience first. Now, to keep the train rolling, next up is my good friend Pishu from Loop. Sir, can the people hear you?
I think so. Hello, everyone.
Huge. Fantastic. Over to you.
All right. I'm Piyush from Loot Subscriptions. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can gamify your subscriptions to increase LTV. Next. All right. So one of the most important things which can be done to increase LTV for subscription brands is to reduce churn. There are a lot of things that brands can do to reduce churn. However, we believe that gamification can help brands in reducing churn by multifolds. The way we think about gamification is essentially motivating the customers to take the actions or to take the desired actions that you want. Across the entire, so today I've just listed, there are about 6 different things that I'm going to talking about, but all of them follow a particular philosophy that the entire subscriber journey for the customers should be done in a way where they're always looking forward to something. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Next. As soon as the customer subscribes, and there's very common problem that a lot of customers end up canceling as soon as they create a subscription, or they cancel right after the upcoming order email or SMS notification comes through to them. The way it can be reduced is if they have something to look forward to as a part of their next order, which is an incentive on their second order. So brands can create this reward or an incentive as a part of their second order, which gets applied automatically to the subscription. And it's very important, like as important it is to give incentive to the customer, it's more important to communicate about this incentive to the customers on the customer portal and on the emails or SMSs which are going to the customer as a part of the upcoming order email. Brands lose about 15 to 25% of the cancellations happen right after the first order. Just by doing this exercise, it helps in reducing this first order cancellations to about single digits. So which is 50% cancellation reduction. And this is what we have seen across 8 figures, 9 figures, and 7-figure brands. Next. So this is getting started to the customers with their first reward. Now, after, let's say, customers has done the first reward, then there still needs to be more engagement which needs to happen with the customer. And that's where gifts sort of come in. As a brand, if customers are subscribed to product A, then you can set up a reward for those customers to gift them product B. Once again, this information needs to be communicated to the customer on the customer portal as a part of the upcoming order emails and SMSs, so that the customers know, hey, you're just 2 orders away from this gift, you're just 1 order away from this gift, or we've just added a gift as a part of your next order. And this can also be done in a little bit more. So not just in reducing churn, this can also be done. There are added benefits here. As a brand, you can sort of send out communications to the customer, asking them to share about this gift on social to generate some UGC. You could also send communications to the customers after they've been gifted, after a couple of days. Hey, why don't you add this product B in your as a part of your normal ongoing subscription if you like the product? So that can further sort of take up your LTV by increasing the AOV for subscribers. Next. This one is the third thing which brands do to sort of reduce, a lot of cancellation happens is because of payment failures. Sadly, not a lot of brands look at this data, but we have realized that out of the overall projected revenue, 20% business is lost, 10 to 25% is the number. On an average, about 20% of the revenue is lost between payments which just got failed. And sadly, not a lot of brands track this number. it's a very easy to, there's a very low hanging fruit, and it's very easy to sort of win back this revenue, because these are the customers who are not canceling. It's just that these customers either are not being communicated, or there is not enough incentive for those customers to, for those customers to update their card. So the way we reduce or we recommend to sort of increase the payment success is set up retries in a way so that the customer card is charged in 2 billing cycles. It's very logical when you think about it, that if the biggest reason for payment failures is because customers do not have enough funds in their card, this is by far the biggest payment failure reasons. And if the customer card is charged in 2 billing cycle, this helps in increasing payment success rate, just the small thing. Next. And as a part of the last payment retry, so every retry will have some notification which will go to the customer. And as a part of the last payment retry, everyone loves discount. So how about incentivizing that customer to update their card so that they get this additional discount? Next. Okay, this one has been, rewards have worked really well. This is another thing which works really, really well. We have seen one brand reduce their cancellations by 45% just by adding this video. When customer click on cancellation, this video automatically pops up. Here's the founder of the brand who is talking about, who's reminding customers why they had subscribed in the first place. And if there is any problem, then they can just reach out to the brand. And just this video, different content will work for different brands. But what we've realized is that as long as brands are re-communicating benefits of the subscription, benefit of the products, it will help in reducing churn. Next. And then once the customers do, after going through the video, if the customers do click on cancellation, then asking different cancellation reasons, then asking customers why they want to cancel. And for every cancellation, offer customers multiple alternatives, not a single alternative, offer customers multiple alternatives. And if after that also customers do want to cancel, then as a last resort, you can choose to once again incentivize them. And I'm consistently talking about incentivization. So this may sort of impact gross margins of the brand. So if brand wants, then if you want, then you can choose to offer these incentives for customers who have done, let's say, 5 orders or who have spent about $200 and so on and so forth, and not choose to give it to everyone. Next. After doing all of this, there will still be cancellations. And what we'd want to do at this point in time is, depending upon why customers cancel, because now when customers are canceling, we understand we have a reason why they canceled in the first place. Depending upon why customers canceled, plus the total number of orders that the customers have done, set up reactivation campaigns for those customers with incentives again. So customers click on that reactivation subscription link, and when they click on it, then they are able to reactivate their subscription and have that incentive or a discount added to their subscription directly. Next. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about. These are just some of the ideas which I hope these ideas give you some perspective on how you can gamify the subscription across the entire life cycle of a customer, from the time they create a subscription to the time they end their subscription. There are multiple touch points. You should always think about how you can gamify the entire subscriber journey to reduce churn, which will increase, which will grow the LTV. Thanks.
I am so hard pressed to pick a favorite out of that. My goodness, the founder video upon the first attempt at cancellation, that's a screamer. We've got the multiple attempts and offers at cancellation, because I cannot freaking tell you, I was watching it and I was like, they got me. I've done this for YouTube. I've done this for Hulu. I've done this for various SaaS products I'm a part of like, oh, you're going to offer me a better thing and keep me around. I have yet to see it done with an actual physical product. That was amazing. And yet I'm also so struck by the 2 billing cycles. Get out of here. That was like a sleeper hit. Go. All right. All right. I do not envy Irina, who's got to follow that act. My goodness. Let's see here. Make sure the people, I hear you. I hear you. Can the people hear you?
I think so. I hope so. Thank
All
you.
right. I'm so sorry to build that up that way. But Irina, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. I'm good. Yeah, I'm Irina. I'm a partnership lead at Shop Circle, and I'm super stoked to be here today. Okay, let's jump to the next principle we will touch on today, and it sounds like transform word of mouth into a referral program. Please, next slide. Yeah, relationships. Relationships are literally everything in the new era of e-commerce. We tend to buy way easier when we have a recommendation from people whom we trust or whose opinion matters. People tend to trust also to people they don't know, but who have similar experience. And today we will focus on one essential relationships related e-commerce marketing instrument that can literally boost your LTV, referral marketing. It's one of the fastest growing channel for e-commerce. Next slide, please. Already, let's look at the numbers together. LTV for referral customers 16% higher to the non-referrals. Customers are 4 times more likely to buy something referred by a friend. More than 90% of people trust referrals from friends and families. Almost 90% of shoppers say they would like some sort of incentive for sharing a product via social media or email. Let's go next. So why not turn love into a referral program to drive even more sales, grow our loyalty, and of course, increase your customer LTV. And this is how actually you can do that. Next, please. To make out the most of your referral program, you should offer both a reward to the referring user and their friend to encourage repeat purchases and increase spend. Next slide, please. And look at what will happen in this case. Referred customers refer customers and become return customers. Looks like an ideal formula, right? Next slide, please. Moreover, to double down on your success, you can set up a referral campaign focusing on email list growth to deepen your marketing impact. For example, you can create a program that allows customers to give, let's say, a friend $10 while earning $10 to their purchases, and at the same time encourage them to subscribe to the newsletter, as you see in this example. Once customers fill out a form with their name and email, you can then give them access to a link shared with a friend. And mission completed. Your customer turned into your product advocate and newsletter subscriber, and in the meantime has everything to help you drive new clients to your business. Next slide, please. And just like that, referral marketing turns your customers into your biggest fans and ignites LTV. Sweet and short.
What I love about, and I'll give you, again, you're going to grab something, the simplicity of letting the technology do it for you if you're not making it easy to, what was it? What was that 1, 2, 3? What was that 1, 2, 3? Referred customers, refer customers.
And became repeat customers.
Yes. And it's just that slip and slide opportunity to throw it up, start testing it, see if it takes. It's such a low lift. This is prime candidate for one takeaway. If you're not already simply utilizing this on the back end, can plug it in. All right. Well, rounding us out, Zach from Smart Sites. Let's make sure we can hear you.
Yes, well, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello,
that
Aaron.
is what a voice. What a voice. All right, sir. Over to you.
Thank you for the intro. As Aaron said, name's Zach, senior analyst at Smart Sites, as well as the e-commerce team lead here. And one principle I want to talk to you guys about today is identifying your most valuable customers with first-party data. So we'll go on the next slide here. So feeding that flywheel with conviction. So I'm sure a lot of you in this meeting are familiar with that 80-20 rule. So most of your business, around 80%, is going to come from 20% of your customers. So segmenting these audiences and identifying these buying patterns is crucial for you to increase your customer lifetime value. Identifying these most important customers, targeting them with purpose, extremely important. Not only that, but leveraging this rich audience data to prospect new users, get them into your high value funnel in audiences, and then wash, rinse, and repeat that cycle. So go on to the next slide here. So a couple of examples of as a e-commerce specialist and a Facebook ads, Google ads, Microsoft ads user for 8 to 10 hours of the day here. So these are just some small tips that I see not a lot of other advertisers using or just overlooking. So I wanted to share them here with you guys. So that first principle for Facebook, despite the iOS 14 update, lookalike audiences from meta sources are still extremely powerful. So the ability to opt out of personalized advertising on iPhones, they impacted some first-party data sources from your website. What I found from my own experience, what they did not impact were meta sources. So we're talking about creating custom audiences from Facebook pages, Instagram accounts, catalogs, videos. These still seem to provide above benchmark results. So what my recommendation is to use these sources, identify your high average order value customers, your multi-time buyers, creating custom audiences from these, and then feeding your funnel and your flywheel by creating lookalike audiences from these. So audiences that look like your high value customers. You're not only servicing them, but you're also building up that audience so that you can have a ton of rich data to leverage and use for your customer lifetime value. So next point being Google. Google is fantastic platform, and this is a tip that could be overlooked easily, but I feel is really impactful and simple from an implementation standpoint, which I'm sure everybody in this room can agree. Let's trim down the operational tasks and let's get to work. So you'll see there in that screenshot that is an engagement pack query marketing list. And I see a lot of people not leveraging these in just the accounts that I take over, the accounts that I audit, and they're very simple to import. So you can go directly on analytics, import these lists into your Google Ads account, and then leverage them in your remarketing campaigns. So it's extremely important to identify, which one of these work best for your business, and then leverage it appropriately, depending on what your objective is and where you're at in the funnel for that. Another principle, another platform that I'd like to share with you guys. So we all can agree to not reinvent the wheel. Work smarter, not harder. Well, depending on what the month is like, but regardless. So don't reinvent the wheel. Test those audiences out on Google. See which ones are winners. See which ones are losers. Then import those into your Microsoft Ads account. Just directly, instead of creating these directly on a UI or something like that. I find this very appealing to just my teammates, and just generally when I talk to other people that are spending a lot of time in Microsoft and Google. This is a hack that is very helpful. And then I'd be remiss if I did not bring up Pinterest. So this is just personally one of my favorite not new platforms, but fastly growing platform for advertising. I personally like it because it's a nice little mix between keywords and creatives. But not all people know you have act-like audiences on Pinterest. So what you should be doing is leveraging these in a similar fashion as your Facebook audiences. Identify those very high value audiences, the ones that are driving most of your lifetime value. And then create lookalike or act-like audiences on Pinterest based upon this data, so that it's that constant flywheel, constant wash, rinse, and repeat. You're creating more users that are falling into your high-value buckets, and then you're using that data to then go out and hunt for more users to then continue to feed and grow. So next slide. And that's what I wanted to get across today. If you didn't take away one thing, it's identifying those audiences within your first party data and using them in your campaigns, regardless of platform, is an excellent way to increase your lifetime value.
Right. My goodness. Okay, we've got just about 7 minutes left until we hit the 45. And we've got a question already came in. If anyone else has some that have come along, you haven't yet dropped them in. I am going to be the person who is not scared to ask what might sound like a stupid question, having just come off the heels, Zach, of your presentation. Please explain to me, what is the difference between zero party, first party, and third party data?
Zero party, well, first party I know is collected directly from your own sources. So third party data would be sources outside of your main website, potentially a CRM, and zero party data, I'll be frank with you, Aaron, not as familiar with first and third than I am with zero party.
Okay, my understanding, zero party is information I proactively, through a quiz, I give you information post-purchase, that sort of thing. Whereas first party, what I believe you're talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, and this is where I want to pull in Mia a little bit on this as well, is essentially the action someone takes and you collect through a technological platform, like, for example, just your Shopify store. Because what you're talking about here is, you mentioned high AOV or high LTV customers, identifying those cohorts of customers that are worth more to your business. And I want to toss that over then to Mia, because I'm wondering if, as you think about high AOV, high LTV customers inside a platform like Triple Whale, this is one of the places where I just see a lot of confusion as to how to freaking do this inside Shopify or any native e-commerce platform, that you folks simplify to identify who those customers are and what they're purchasing. Am I wrong?
Nope, you're totally right. So that's exactly what Triple Whale helps brands understand, is where their customers are coming from. And the way that we do that is through 5 different attribution models. So some of those models are like first click, last click, etc. So depending on like how you want your brand to scale or how you want to be attributing the different platforms, let's say, for example, a customer clicks on your Facebook ad and then your Google ad. Well, both of those platforms are going to try to take credit for that customer's conversion. So depending on, in Triple Whale, let's say you want to measure your conversions by first click, then okay, that conversion would go towards that Facebook ad then. So that's exactly what Triple Whale is doing, is helping brands understand where their customers are coming from.
And the one that always blows my socks off is, and now listen, I'm not trying to, Triple Whale's here, so I'm being nice to him. You can do this with any attribution platform.
Exactly.
Okay. It's the value by first product purchased over time. That is such an unlock for a number of the brands that when I was at Common Thread Collective, the agency that we worked with, to discover there is disproportionate lifetime value based on the first product you win someone with. And that is the screaming example of what product then do you put first and foremost, do you push hard on inside your ad account, inside your merchandising on site, knowing that there is, and this it removes the mystery of just bucketing people by AOV to try to identify types of buyers, to say, what is the product that gets them into my system, into my brand in a way that is disproportionately valuable compared to everything else? And then reverse engineering what you were talking about at the front end with those customized experiences to put your money where it matters is a lot of times how I think about it. Now, I had a question for Piyush. You offered a number of different options for gamifying the experience, and you talked about having this in your subscription portal, and you sort of hinted at email and text message marketing. Is in your mind there a balance, or how do you decide between the two? Is it hit them with both barrels? Is it hit them with both barrels when they're before the first purchase and then chill out? Like, how do you balance all of those different options you gave to gamify and communicate with overwhelming a subscriber?
Got it. So There's a very simple framework to it that would recommend brand. Anything which is high urgency should definitely be done via text, and anything which is low urgency should be done via emails. Now, it entirely depends on what brands consider high urgency for their customers or for themselves. So, for example, payment failure notification. One of the brands, we've seen card updates to grow by 65%. If brands communicate, hey, your card is expired, why don't you update your card? Some brands also use second order rewards communication to be done via text, just so that more customers are aware about it. And this communication can then be done in a way, hey, Aaron, we've added extra 10% discount to your upcoming order. That's it. We hope you like it, or something on those lines, right? So then this helps in reducing cancellations. Yeah.
And that the idea of urgency, or perhaps the way I would want to put it, is optimizing closest to the money. Where you have the highest likelihood to lose, get it into their hot hands and in front of their eyeballs. Text. Managing subscriptions, delivering the gifts. If it's an incentive, it's a nice to have benefit, then we can lean back on a less expensive channel like email, and particularly when we're honing that process to then figure out, is this worth pushing out when someone crosses that threshold into urgency?
Exactly.
I'm really curious too about, so we got two questions here. One about the delay between MMS, different by product type. And I'm thinking, this is one of the earlier questions I think came in during my portion of it. And I imagine what either this person means is, how do you decide between SMS and MMS? That's like a real technical inside, text marketing. One's MMS a lot more expensive. Or the other question, and maybe this is the way the direction they're going, is the delay between the messages just in general. And absolutely, yes. What we've done with the brand that I showed you that we walked through is essentially through FAQs, complaints, and reviews. FAQs, complaints, and reviews. So the complaints particularly coming through CS, that sort of stuff. That is where we're identifying not just what they're asking, but when they're asking it. And how do we identify one step before that to push them really aggressively, and maybe it's not the best word, but aggressively through those first 3 days where it's boom, 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 have a strong start to this product. And then the delay is set upon those things of like, first 7 days, this is the habit. Next 7 days, this is the habit. So there is an inflection point, a change inherent to the product that necessitates another piece of communication to make sure they're having a great experience with the product. And this is so true for not just supplements, but a lot of beauty brands, anything that's skincare, anything that's health related, anything that's food related, for care and packaging, that sort of stuff. They all have their own various points of breakage, or when something goes wrong, and it's going one day, 24 hours, right before it's most likely to happen. And that's then determining particularly when do they run out, and that's the end of the first sequence. Right. Question for Zach that just came in. Lookalike audiences on Facebook that you're still working alongside highest AOV customer list. That's a strong one. I think we'll round it out with this.
Yeah. So the question in particular that's in the chat, what are lookalike audiences on Facebook you see working aside from highest AOV customer list? So that's actually one of the ones that we don't see working that well for Facebook. I'm saying AOV more so for the other platforms. So what I would say for Facebook more so, your higher value audiences there are your people that are actually engaging with the page, people that are commenting on posts. These are the high value audiences when I manage my Facebook account, more so than the actual website sources itself. So create those customs on the Facebook page based upon those engagers, CTA clicks. And then for the Instagram account, it's very similar. And then other really, really good sources that you could use. And it depends on what your brand has at their disposal. But let's say your client does a lot of live videos. One of my clients, they sell these custom blankets, and they have, live Facebooks where, people can bid on comment. Those sources work extremely well for them. So if you've got like a lot of video views, engagements, average watch time, use that source. If you've got a lot of people adding products to catalog from your Facebook or Instagram store, leverage those sources. And that's not to say you should not test high AOV audiences from first-party website sources. But the point I was trying to make there is that meta sources I've personally seen, the majority of my team has personally seen, these work much better than actual just website sources for Facebook.
That is not the answer I was expecting, and it fires me up when that happens. What a good, I am so glad, Nab, that you went double down with Q&A and in the chat. Yes, get that answer. All right, well, you are more than welcome to at any of our guests, their Twitter handles, LinkedIn, track them down. They're pretty easy to find. I have linked to every single freaking one of them on my socials. So go look for Aaron Orndorff, a couple of recent posts. You'll find direct links to them on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Make sure to ask any questions you didn't have answered here. And then two, please be sure, we're going to have a whole new fresh round tomorrow. 5 new guests, 5 new topics, round out how to increase your LTV. And you'll get both replays along with the full deck as soon as we wrap up tomorrow and get everything processed and polished for you. So thank you so much to everyone, especially our guests, and to our participants. I can't wait to see you on the social, and I absolutely can't wait to see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Bye.